Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Sports Hub Central. I'm your host, Chad M.
And I'm Emily Nerland. We are here to talk about Lance Armstrong, who was recently stepping down from his point at the Livestrong Foundation, and even more recently has had his 7 titles stripped of him. Now, in your mind, how does him being stripped of these titles affect his legacy?
Well, in a huge way, because the bottom line is the reason why he cheated within his sport was to get to the highest level and have all of these achievements, which was winning all of those Tour de France's. So essentially, you're taking away everything that he worked to go and get.
But you only see him as a cyclist then? You don't see the almost $500 million that he raised for cancer patients, the huge foundation that he's built. I would argue that his legacy is really about how he's changed the face of cancer, how he's changed how people see it, and how people are viewing it. And he made it cool for guys to wear bracelets all the time, pink bracelets, whatever they're wearing. He changed how you market disease altogether. So that is his real legacy. And yes, he used biking, he used cycling as his method of getting that popularity so he could raise that. But you take away those titles, and everybody else was just as dirty that was racing, and he still beat them, and he still beat cancer. So no matter what, his legacy, he was still a badass cyclist, along with a bunch of guys who took drugs and are still pretty badass too. But his real legacy is that he built this foundation. And I don't think that stripping him of those titles, I think that someone just had an axe to grind along the way. And they just wanted to strip him of them and make an example of him, to cutting off their nose despite their face, right?
Well, I mean, I agree with you in the sense that everybody within the sport was equally as guilty in terms of using it, and he happened to be the best. Therefore, he legitimately was the best cyclist. And I don't even think the title should be taken away from him, because at the end of the day, if he still physically crossed the finish line, he still won the event. I mean, by taking away a title, to me, in my opinion, I interpret as it never even happened, which it clearly did. So I do have an issue with that right then and there. If they're going to come hard after Lance Armstrong, then all the other cyclists should receive the same sort of punishment the way he did. Now, to your other point, in terms of his legacy being judged more based upon what he did to raise money from a cancer standpoint, yes, I somewhat understand and agree that it's a great thing that he did for society. However, when you look at Lance Armstrong, he is still viewed as someone that was considered the best athlete at what he did. And you cannot say that he didn't cheat and that didn't have a direct effect on everything.
Oh, I think that he did cheat, and I think that the top 20 guys were cheating as well. And I think that his legacy, the first thing I think of him is, yeah, sure, he's a cyclist, he did all this stuff, but I think that when you think of him, you tie him with the Livestrong Foundation. That is his true legacy. And so the people saying, I know that you're of the opinion that you most dislike the fact that he won't admit to it.
Right, it's the fact that here's someone that wants to talk about having integrity and doing so many great things for the world.
He's not talking about it, he's doing it. That's
he's doing it even better. So if he's doing it, why can't he follow along those lines and have some integrity and come out now and say, hey, you know what, guys? I cheated. I made a monumental mistake. And I'm willing to admit that now, and moving forward,
why does it matter? Why does it matter that he has to do that? If you have to go in for surgery and you have the best doctor in the world, and you found out he cheated on his wife and he won't admit to it, does that affect you about your body and how he's going to operate on you, even though he's the best, he's the person that's getting the job done? So what does his integrity have to do with any of it?
Well, no, because if someone was like that, yeah, okay, it wouldn't be the end of the world that he cheated on his wife because it's not affecting my life. The same way Lance Armstrong cheating doesn't affect other people's lives.
But if he hadn't
from a trust standpoint,
if he hadn't cheated, he wouldn't have the notoriety, he wouldn't have had the fame to make the money to change cancer as we know it today, to change how people raise money, to create this institution. So I would have to say that his legacy and the fact that he did that, sometimes things happen for a reason.
So are you trying to say in society, are you saying, hold on, Emily, so you're saying in life people are allowed to do illegal things in order to provide something that benefits the world that's legal after? They can use it as a tool.
Like Robin Hood?
Like Robin Hood. And don't forget to check out BetHubb.com. You can see it on the link below here on the video. You guys can sign up, get your accounts going, and start wagering on all the big-time sporting events that are going on right now.